Radio. DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
Narito na ang radyo na. Paaralan pa. DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio. Siksik, liglig, umaapaw sa kaalaman. Kasama si Sir, kasama si Mama na maghahatid sa inyo ng makabuluhang impormasyon at kalidad na edukasyon.
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio. Kasapi sa KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. Ang DepEd Radio ay inihahatid sa inyo ng kagawaran ng edukasyon. Sulong Edukalidad.
Music matutong umawit, mag-ensayo ng paulit-ulit. Sa mundo ng arts, matutong gumuhit at umukit. Tara nang maglaro, magpalakas ng katawan. Sa PE malalaman, kalusugan ng pamilya sa health, matutuklasan. Sa MAPE, punong-puno ng kaalaman.
Hello, learners! Welcome to another episode full of learning and healthy tips. My dear health advocates, join me as we take the steps in possessing the knowledge and skills we need to acquire before any incident happen. Remember, prevention is better than cure. Let us sharpen your understanding in taking safety measures and strengthen health education. Ako ang makakasama niyo para sa pangmalakasang kaisipan at kalusugan. Teacher Shell ang iyong guro sa radyo. Dito lang sa nag-iisa, DepEd School on Air. Learners, do you still recall your previous lesson? Yes, it's all about drugs. Philippines drug scenario. Different kinds of substance use and its short-term and long-term effects. And today, we will enlighten your minds with the first aid principles and procedures. It is the primary and secondary survey of the victim. This lesson is found on our most essential learning competency. Our objective for this lesson is to demonstrate the conduct of primary and secondary survey of the victim. Are you ready to discover another health and safety measures? Great! Like you, I am also excited to know. Ready yourselves? Take down notes, then sit back, relax, and listen attentively. Learners, have you been caught in an unexpected scenario with your friends and family? Like you were in the middle of emergency situation. What did you do? Were you prepared? Now, accidents are inevitable and we never know when it will come to us, anytime and anywhere. Here is the sample situation I can give.
While the mother is busy cleaning the kitchen, her children were also playing in the sala. Suddenly, the baby brother accidentally swallowed a small part of a toy car and it gets stuck into his throat.
Bango-bango naman ni Bunso. Naku, tanghali na pala. Anak, dito ka muna ha. Magluluto lang si Mama. Nasaan kaya yung mga kapatid mo? Mario?
Ma?
Tonyo? Dali muna kayo at bantayan niyo si Bunso. At sa kusina lang ako.
Opo, Ma. Nanay, tatay, gusto na tinapay, ate, kuya. Mario, doon na lang tayo sa loob maglaro. Bantayan natin si Bunso. Sige, kuya. Tara, dali. Tara. Hintayin mo ko. Kuya, si Bunso, kuya. Kuya, ano nangyari? Ma!
Ano nangyari? Bakit?
Nabilao ka siya!
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
What will you do if you are in this alarming situation? Can we really help others through our knowledge and skills in first aid? As health warriors, you can prevent injuries by being cautious and being aware of safety hazards in your immediate environment. Alright, what do you call the person who helped you when you are in an emergency? Did you just say responders? First aiders? Absolutely. First aiders are trained individuals who give first aid. And we say first aid, it is the immediate and temporary care given to a person who suddenly gets ill or injured. It also includes self-help and home care if medical assistance is not available or delayed. And in some cases, it can mean life or death. My dear health warriors, in an unexpected or dangerous situations, it is very important to be aware of and apply the following principles of first aid. Here are the dose in giving first aid.
It is very important to stay calm and maintain presence of mind. As a first aider, you must also reassure and comfort the victim. You should check for medical bracelet that indicates medical conditions such as epilepsy and diabetes. If you noticed any tight clothing, loosen it and keep the victim covered to reduce shock. On the other hand, let us also take note of the following don'ts in giving first aid procedures. Do not give food and drink to an unconscious person, and do not move an injured person unless you need to place him or her in the recovery position.
Let us now assess your understanding of the first aid principles that we have just discussed. Let us now have Mission Health Possible. Let's call this activity, Who is the Good First Aider? Your task is to analyze the situation of each student first aiders and tell me later on who among them can be considered as a good first aider. Ready? Let's do this!
Student A is insisting that his unconscious sister should drink water.
Ate? Ate? Nahilo ako, ate.
Bing! Diyos ko! Bing! Uy, gising! Ano ba, Diyos ko? Ano bang gawin ko nito? Eto, may tubig. Bing! Bing, gumising ka. Alika, uminom ka ng tubig, oh. Gising!
Student B is very relaxed in controlling the bleeding on his classmate's finger.
Aray!
Oh, ano nangyari sa'yo?
Nahiwa ko yung hintuturo ko.
Ha? Patingin nga. Maliit lang naman pala yan. Halika, gamutin natin yan. O ayan, okay na?
Salamat, Bestie.
Walang anuman. Sa susunod, mag-iingat ka na ha.
Student D speaks upsetting words to his cousin who sprained his ankle while playing basketball.
Pare, itong bola! O sige pare, pasin mo na! Ito! Aray! Ah! Pare, paano ka? Natapilok ako, pre! Ay naku, pare, ang tanga mo naman! Ang sakit, pre, pasensya na! Basa kasi hindi ka nag-iingat eh! Ang sakit ng paa ko, pre, ah! Aray! Ay naku, pare, talo naman tayo nito! Pasensya na, pre, pasensya na!
Time is up! From among the students shown, we can say that, what's your answer? Yes, student B is the good first aider. He or she has shown the characteristics of good first aiders such as being gentle, observant, resourceful, tactful or considerate, and very sympathetic. There is so much more to learn, so let's keep going. So for our next stop, we will be joined by a certified first aider. She is a school disaster risk reduction management coordinator, Filipino Red Cross safety first aid instructor, and member of CDRRMC of Digos City. Help me in welcoming Ma'am Vina E. Aguilar, EMT. Hi, Ma'am Vin. Welcome to Health Education 9. This is DepEd School on Air. My dear health warriors, with the help of Ma'am Vina, we will know more about the proper procedures in assessing emergency situations for unintentional or accidental injuries. Plus, she will also be discussing to us how to perform the primary and secondary surveys of the victims. This sounds really exciting. Let's start!
Good day, Ma'am. Good day, learners. Thank you for having me here. It is my pleasure to share or impart my knowledge on how to assess patient or injured person through conducting primary and secondary survey. Now, when a person suddenly becomes ill or has been injured, it is important to find out what is wrong as quickly as possible. However, your first priority is to make sure that you are not putting yourself to danger by approaching a casualty or victim. Once you are sure that an incident area is safe, you need to begin your assessment of the victim or victims. Tell those at the scene that you are trained first aider or first aid provider and calmly take control.
Since Ma'am Vin, the primary survey is designed to help the first aider. Now, I believe meron po tayo mga steps to conduct this. How it is being conducted?
So the primary survey or initial assessment ay dinisenyo para matulungan ang mga first aider or emergency responder to detect immediate threats to life. So it is usually given to an unconscious victim or even unconscious victim. Here are the steps in performing the primary survey. First is you have to check for consciousness. So paano? If conscious, ask the victim if he or she is okay while carefully tapping the victim's shoulder. So halimbawa, pag nakahiga siya, so tap mo yung shoulder niya, tapos sabihin mo, Ma'am, sir, are you okay? Are you alright? But if unconscious naman yung victim, you can tap immediately or diretso mo nang itap yung shoulder niya to check his or her consciousness. So pag walang response, the victim is obviously unconscious and in need of immediate medical help. After that, so immediately call 911 or your city disaster risk reduction management hotline or your MDR-MC. Then proceed performing the ABCs of first aid.
So what does the ABCs mean?
Okay. So A stands for the airway or opening the airway. So you will check if there is an obstruction on the victim's airway that might be cause of his or her unconsciousness. There are ways to check the airway of the victim or patient. So first is the head tilt chin lift maneuver. So, paano to gagawin? So, put your palm on the person's forehead and gently tilt the head back. Then, with the other hand, gently lift the chin forward to open the airway. Next is B. B stands for breathing. So, you will check the breathing of your patient or victim. So, how to check or paano to gagawin? Place your ear over the victim's mouth, then look, listen, and feel for 10 seconds. You should always or also observe for chest movement, sound of breathing, or feel of breath on your cheek. Then finally, ang letter C, yung circulation. You will check the circulation of your patient. So paano? Using your middle or index finger, not your thumb locate the victim's pulse. So it indicates blood circulation, which is important for the heart and brain to function. So if the victim's skin color is pale, this indicates poor blood circulation. Pag ang patient ay walang pulse, walang breathing, then this is the time that we will use the CPR to revive the circulation process. CPR means cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR is a medical technique for reviving someone whose heart has stopped beating by pressing on their chest and breathing into their mouth. If you are well trained in doing CPR and confident in your ability, you can perform the ABC. If you are an amateur or untrained with CPR and have access to a phone, the least thing you can do is to call your local emergency number immediately. Then the dispatcher can instruct you into proper procedures until the needed help arrives. So habang inaantay nyo yung responders, so you can perform the hand-only CPR. This means that you will do 100 to 120 uninterrupted or continuous chest compressions per minute. Remember that you don't need to try rescue breathing, just only CPR with your hands.
Now, let's proceed. My dear health warriors, I would like to remind all of you that our discussions may not be enough for you to fully understand and grasp the knowledge and skills needed for first aid and basic life support procedures. You can still perform simple first aid for minor cases such as simple bleeding, sprain, nosebleed, cuts, and scrapes, and others. That is why I encourage you to take an accredited first aid training course organized by the Philippine Red Cross.
DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio.
DepEd Radio's always here for you to give you lessons on air for vital information and quality education wherever you are, whatever you do. This is DepEd Radio Lesson on Air. DepEd Radio Lesson on Air. DepEd Radio, made possible by DepEd Radio Philippines. Member KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas, and Department of Education, sulong edukalidad. You are listening to DepEd Radio, School on Broadcast, a production by the Department of Education, Educational Technology Unit. Member, KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. This is School on Broadcast, Lesson on Air.
You know we're here for you, because we care for you. It's fun time too. We learn with you. We care. Lessons on air.
DepEd Radio.
Learners, I am sure that you're not only health warriors and health advocates, you are all heroes too. Why don't you demonstrate now what we have discussed? Okay, find a partner there. Pwede yung mama mo, papa mo, o yung kapatid mo. And follow my instructions in conducting the primary survey. After giving the steps, you have to perform. I will give you 10 seconds each in every step. First, secure the area if it is safe and declare or say the scene is safe. Perform. Next, introduce yourself that you are trained first aider or responder. After that, check for his or her consciousness. Mom, sir, are you okay? Mom, sir, are you alright? Okay, you do it. If there is no response, call 911 or CDR or MDR emergency hotline. And then check ABC for 10 seconds. Check the airway. Do it in 10 seconds. Check the breathing. And lastly, check the consciousness of your victim. If no response, no pulse, and no breathing, that's the time you perform the CPR or hands-only CPR. Perform 100 to 120 uninterrupted chest compression until responders arrive.
DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio.
Accidents or unintentional injuries may happen to anybody at any place and any time. Having knowledge and skills on safety education and injury prevention is very important because it could help you, your loved ones, and other people in your community during emergency situations. Today, with the help of Ma'am Vina Aguilar, our school-certified first aider and responder, we have learned about the importance and basic principles of first aid. We'll learn about the proper procedures in assessing emergency situations for unintentional injuries, as well as how to perform the primary and secondary surveys of the ill or injured person. Once again, we would like to thank her for sharing her expertise about first aid and basic life support procedures. Thank you, Ma'am Vin, once again. Learners, we had a great start on our journey in exploring about safety and first aid education. I hope you learned so much from our discussions and you will be able to share it with others. Next week, join me in another interesting episode as we discover more about the different dressing and bandages used on wounds and burns. Ito po si Teacher Shell ang kasama mo sa radyo para sa pangmalakasang kaisipan at kalusugan. This is DepEd School on Air. Goodbye!
DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio. DepEd Radio. Inyong napakinggan ang siksik, liglig, umaapaw sa makabuluhang impormasyon at malikhaing paghahatid ng kalidad na edukasyon dito lamang sa DepEd Radio. Abangan muli ang susunod naming pagsahimpapawid. Hanggang sa muli, ito ang DepEd Radio, inihahatid sa inyo ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon, Sulong Edukalidad.